Hello and welcome to the Linda Muyobo Show. It's a pleasure to have you here and thank you so much for tuning in. I'm so happy that you're here. If you're watching live, you're streaming, or you're going to be watching later on Facebook, you are most welcome. And thank you for taking the time to be with us today. And I promise you, you will not be disappointed, not at all. You know, all my guests have a story to share, and their stories will resonate with somebody who is watching right now. So why not call a friend? Call a family member. Call somebody you know who is going to benefit. Today we are talking education. So far I've had guests who have come and talk about stress. They've come and talk about their spiritual challenges. And today with me in the studio, I have a lady who is talking about education, the importance of education. And you know, as Africans, it's drilled into us to have a good education. Absolutely. From our parents. So today with me, I have a lady who has faced some challenges. Okay, and you're going to be hearing her story. And one thing I want you to take away from her story is how she overcame those challenges and what she's passionate about and why she's doing what she is doing, because the why of every reason is very important. She's going to be sharing why she's doing what she's doing. You know, I have with me today Shola Alabi. Okay, she is an education and parenting consultant. So that already tells you that she's got knowledge. She's got experience. She's got the skills to be able to let you know about education here in the UK, especially for parents who have maybe just moved to the UK. Tune in, please, and you'll be blessed. She is also the winner of the Be Mogul Award 2018 and a recognition by the London Borough of Barking and Dagenham. Now that, we have to give her a round of applause, right?
Thank you very much.
She's also author of 3 books. And guess what? Like I said, all my guests always come with freebies. I've got giveaways. This show is about giving away something to my viewers. So go on to my, email me. The first emails that come through will receive, of course, the gift, okay? I can't give to everybody. Today we have 2 books that we're giving away. And she's also going to share about her most recent, should I say, a project that you're doing, okay, which is the Members Hub. So with me in the studio, it's none other than Shola Alabi.
Thank you so much, Linda.
Shola, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
You are most welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's such a pleasure to be here.
Oh, it's an honor.
Afternoon.
It is.
Thank you.
You know, that's the whole purpose of the Linda Muyobo Show, to give a platform to you, the viewers. If you have a story to share, you have a product to share, you have anything that you know our viewers are going to benefit, you have a product that people do not know about yet. Come to the show and they'll know about you. Isn't that right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Fantastic opportunity, you know, to showcase what we are doing, you know, as Black African people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because a lot of times, what we have on the media is just negative news. Anytime you actually tune into the media and they're talking about any Black person, is always something negative. I may stand corrected.
Yeah, but I mean, thank God there's some good.
There's some
and
good.
some positivity now.
Yes.
So yeah, we're actually making sure that we'd balance that out and neutralize the bad, negative stuff.
And you're doing that perfectly.
Right.
So who is Shola Alabi?
Who is Shola Alabi?
Yes.
Shola Alabi is a Black powerful woman
I like that.
who evolved from or originated from Africa, born in the United Kingdom and then shipped back shipped to Nigeria. Yeah, Shola Alabi is a person who is actually, I know I do get told off all the time that, why is it that you're always very, very crazy about children and their parents? And like I was saying earlier on, it stemmed from a very long time ago. Whilst I was a student myself in secondary school, first year into secondary school. And
was that secondary school here?
no, it wasn't here. I
Okay.
was shipped back when I was a little baby.
And where
So
were you shipped back to?
I was shipped back to Nigeria.
Okay.
Yeah, I was shipped back to Lagos in Nigeria.
Okay, so you're originally from Nigeria. Your parents are originally from Nigeria.
Yeah, my parents originate
Okay.
from
All right.
Ondo State in Nigeria.
Okay.
Yes. So, so it came from a story from childhood.
Okay.
as a young secondary school girl myself. So, I mean, although growing up, the story within my family, my dad would always drum it into our heads, myself and my siblings, that education is the key. Education is the key.
Absolutely.
And of course, like one of my role models and, one of somebody that I actually admire a lot, he says that education is the greatest weapon that we could use to change the world.
None other than Nelson Mandela.
Absolutely, yeah. So it was actually instilled in me right from a very young age that education is important. I mean, in as much as it wasn't the plan for me to go into teacher training as a young child, I aimed to become a medical doctor.
Okay. So change of career?
Yeah, so I mean, I didn't even get far. I mean, I do have a degree in biochemistry as my first degree, but honestly, I remembered when I was a young child in secondary school, my first year of secondary school, there was a practice in my secondary school then where every term it was, after we've had yearly assessments, we would have a special assembly.
Okay.
And at that assembly, it used to go on for a week. So each year group would have a day during the week. So during that assembly, it was a case of calling out your results.
Okay.
So then in those days, we used to have positions. So it's the first position, the second position,
Yeah,
and obviously the 120th position. So the last person.
And they call it out in the assembly?
They call it out in assembly.
Oh, no.
So we had a special assembly then where during the week, it might be year 7 on Monday, it might be year 8 on Tuesday. So it's just a year group, not just the whole school.
Okay.
So I was lucky enough to be one of the bright ones.
Okay.
So it would either be a case of me being first to maybe the 5th. So you'd come out, strolling, take your position. And it would go on and on until we got to the last person. Believe it or not. I mean, now I look at it and I think how humiliating for that person or for those people. I know that then as a young child, I used to really feel sorry for those who were in that situation. And I would, for days and weeks, be thinking about how they feel. So it was obviously.
And you know what? That actually relates to a lot of children here.
Yes.
They might not call it out in an assembly.
Yes.
They receive it in an envelope or via email.
Absolutely.
But it still haunts them.
Yeah, and I remember as well as a teacher now, I know that some of the children know those that mean there's quite a lot of setting going on in schools. You know, as a child, who is in the top set or who is not in the top set.
Absolutely.
So yes, it's still the same, but a completely different mode or model. So I used to really feel sorry for them. And over the years, I now found out that that's one of the main reasons why I can't but help myself to make sure that a child does well.
So it stems from that experience that you had from the first year in secondary.
Yes, it came from that experience of, what happened in secondary school, where I used to really feel sorry because some of them would actually be crying. Some of them would obviously just be boisterous about it and just not worry about it. But I'm sure deep down in them, they felt that they would have felt, oh, I wish I could do better. So that's where it all started from. So for me, when I see a child, my first thought is, what's going on? Why can't you, move from one level to the next?
There's always a reason, isn't it?
Yes.
But then there's also a thing whereby I believe not every child is an academic.
Absolutely. I was actually going to get there as well and say that not every child is meant to be, the top or the bright spark. But one thing I believe and one thing that I've actually said about all the time is every child has something inside of them.
Absolutely.
Every child has potential, We
all do.
Absolutely,
We all do.
exactly. So for me, it's in the process of looking for that thing that actually landed me into publishing my first book.
Okay.
So in the book, it doesn't just talk about academic abilities or academic performance. It looks at, of course, your child's personality to start from, because, of course, if your child is a shy person, then that might stop them from pushing themselves forward for other things.
Let's rewind back a little bit. Okay, you finished secondary and then you were supposed to be a biochemist, right?
I was meant to be a doctor,
A
not
doctor,
a chemist,
okay.
But I ended up being a biochemist.
Okay.
Yes. And then walked in the lab and I just was quite restless. And I thought, there's more.
You weren't
know?
getting that fulfillment.
I wasn't getting it. I was sitting there, speaking to samples in the lab. And I thought, no, this is crazy,
And then you went into teaching.
And I decided to go, actually, I went from there into the civil service in my search for more.
Okay.
And I worked for
there's
civil
nothing wrong with
service.
that until you find your purpose.
Absolutely.
It's about finding your purpose.
Yes,
You
yeah.
might go through a lot of bends.
Of course. Yeah.
But you will get there. So it's an encouragement. If you're the kind of person whereby you're at crossroads at the moment, don't be despondent because you will find your purpose.
Absolutely, yeah. And so moved from there, got into the civil service, did that for a number of years, and I thought, no, this is not it, And then it was while I was in the civil service, I was actually representing the department I was working for in the career fair. And then I just walked around and I stumbled across the teacher training agency, we used to call it in those days.
Okay.
It's now called the TDA, Teaching and Developmental Agency. And I just started chatting to the person there, and then she just said, oh, you have a degree in biochemistry. Oh my days, you are the type of person we're looking for, and you can actually chat as well, as you can tell, Linda,
There's nothing wrong with that.
And I just then picked up a form, got home, had a conversation with my husband, and he said, actually, that makes sense. That looks like you, So that was a confirmation, I think.
Yes.
God bless him. And that's how I started my journey. And Linda started the journey in 2001, and I've never looked back. I have absolutely enjoyed working with other teachers, working with students, working with their parents, teaching, tutoring, and doing the whole lot.
There's a thing with live recording, my phone is going off. I do apologize.
Yes. So that's me from the Genesis. Well, not at the revelation yet.
No.
I'm
We're
still
not
on the
at the
journey.
revelation yet. No, it's a journey, darling.
Yeah.
It's a journey.
Yeah.
If you have reached revelation, then I think you're dead.
Oh, absolutely, which is why I'd had to say no.
No.
That's the Genesis and still walking towards
Still
the
working
revelation.
towards it.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's actually encouraging for people to know, okay? You didn't get the fulfillment as with the first degree that you had, and you decided to go into teaching because that is where your purpose is, and that is exactly what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
And I can see the glow in your face when you talk about it.
Thank you, Linda.
I can see the glow on your face.
Wow.
Because when you work in your purpose and you're actually doing what you love, you feel like doing it every day.
Absolutely.
Even though no one asks you for it.
Yeah.
So how has teaching been? And now you've transitioned into tutoring, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Still teaching, I still categorize it as teaching. But what
But
I
it's
do
more
at the moment-
specialized.
Yes, yeah. What I do now is obviously I've moved out of mainstream at this point in time, still in the process. And what I do now is I'm more of an entrepreneur. I do run private tuition businesses, and also taking on top of that, I work with the parents as well.
Okay.
Because I found a loophole as well, which, I might not go into a lot of detail today, but
But they can always go on your website.
Yeah, of
So where are the
course.
tuition
Yeah.
centers? Because we're just looking at the time, the tuition centers.
One of the tuition centres, well, one of them is in Essex, so I
Uh-huh.
do have a centre in Essex, and there's another one in South London.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they can go on the website and actually get the details for where the tuition centers are.
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
good. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and it's called Thorough Tuition Centre, and the other one's called Exam Success
Exam
Education.
Success, okay.
Yeah.
Go onto her website for all the details, and everything is actually going to be shown at the bottom of the screen. Okay.
Yep, cool, fantastic.
And this was your first book.
This was my first book, and like I was saying earlier on, when I started tutoring, I actually found that there were 3 categories of students. Well, some who do really well, some who are kind of in the middle, average, and those who don't. And I ran a case study. I'm always running case studies in my head and in my
It's
mind.
very important to run case studies.
And I found out that the ones that were doing really well were those that their parents were kind of involved.
Okay.
And they had the know-how, and there's a different thing to know what to do, and there's a different thing you wanting to, but not knowing what to do.
What to do, yes.
So I then started, first of all, put all of the information in the book, what you need to know. It's called Parents Understand Your Child.
And that is, I think,
key.
where a lot of parents actually fail. not intentionally.
Absolutely, yeah.
Not
I agree.
and I think also the culture here doesn't give parents that time to really understand their children.
Yeah, we're quite busy, which is
Yeah,
understandable
yeah.
because I mean, we all need to fend for a
Oh,
living.
absolutely. We need to
you
put
know?
food on the table and
Yeah.
pay the bills.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay?
But what I have done, is put all of that into perspective. I mean, we could pick up a book, as a bedtime read. So the book is on Amazon. Also, what I do as well is I do run workshops for parents as well. So there are free ones, as well as I have a membership group for parents who would like to become a member and, work with like-minded parents. So you would definitely be in the know-how.
And that's the Members Hub.
That's the Members Hub.
Okay,
Yes.
so it's membershub.com.
Yes, membershub.sholalabi.com.
.com. Okay, all right. I like some of the titles here actually. Helping your child at home.
Yeah.
Okay. Common negative messages parents should avoid.
Yes.
As parents, sometimes in anger or something, you just burst out and say the wrong kind of words. isn't it?
Nah.
And parents should avoid that.
Yes, yes.
They should.
It is a process, like
It
I'd
is.
always say.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yes, because if that has been the norm, then of course there would have to be stages to move away from the norm and get onto, the not norm. So being intentional about these things, and those are some of the things we walk through as a member of the hub, and if peradventure you can attend one of the parent clinics, which like I said are free, you can meet other parents who can help you or who
And
can
you
work
share
with you.
as well, and you know that you're not alone.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yes, yeah.
Because you are not alone. There's help out there. But you've got to get out of your comfort zone and come out to the centers and speak to other parents and speak to Shola as well.
Yeah.
She's running the centers. And you have something coming up for the half term, right?
Yes. During the half term, this is actually a project that's run with another fantastic woman that I met. It's called Equip Boys. This is for boys.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's going to be happening during the half term holiday for boys. If you're on Facebook, just put my name in, Shola with a H. You'd see all the information in there. Actually, there's also another there's things happening all around.
All over, yes.
If we can actually search, we'd find something that would meet our need. There's also a session happening tomorrow down in Raynham by another fantastic woman that I would also be involved with, which is talking about how you can get access to grammar schools, how you could get access to scholarships to independent schools. We're talking about subject choices for those who are in year 9. There's actually a blog on my website as well, because we're actually going through that process with my child number 2 at the moment.
Me too.
So that's happening tomorrow. Also on Sunday, there's also an online session for boys as well, which I would be talking through planning for purpose. It was funny that you pick up the word purpose. So there's something always happening.
And all the events that Shola's mentioned is on our website, and I'll also put it on my link as well, so you have access to all this information, because I do not want you to miss it.
Yeah. And also tonight, in my members hub, so you could actually hurry up and become a member tonight. We are going to be looking at goals and also how we can fine-tune our goals for 2019. So if you haven't set your goals yet, you can actually become a member, join us, and we will be more than happy to work with you.
I wanted to mention something about tutoring.
Okay. Right.
Because I think a lot of parents do not know, or maybe do not have the knowledge or the know-how of the importance of actually having a child tutored in the subjects that they're struggling in.
Okay. I mean, what I always say, honestly, is, excuse me, being a tutor myself, the first thing I would say, Linda, I know this might actually not go down well with everybody, is not every child needs to do
Which is fair enough.
Which is fine.
Which is fair enough,
But
yes.
what normally happens is, like I said earlier on, children fall into 3 main categories. There might be, more, but there's those that are actually doing extremely well, So if you can support them at home and extend them, by all means, they don't need to be at a tutor's, they don't need to go. But there are some children who are right in the middle, who need support in a smaller...
Just that little push.
That little push to move them from where they are to where they need to be. So maybe in a small group, or maybe on a one-to-one basis,
yes.
So those children can. But if you can, and I'd say this as well, they can also be split into 2 groups. If you, the parent, can actually support them, then you know what? keep the money.
Yes.
Save it to when they're ready to go to uni, and you don't. But if you can't support them, then you can then get a tutor to help them.
Okay.
But there's also an important thing with regards to employing a tutor. Your
Yes.
child and your tutor, there should be some kind of chemistry between them.
Yeah, it's very
If your
important.
child does not get on with your tutor, then it's a waste of
It's a waste of time.
a waste of time and a waste of money.
Yes.
I know how to get to the side of my students, but of course, apart from the tutoring, I actually call myself a tutor with a difference. Why? Because I don't just tutor the subject, I also look at the confidence, build the confidence of
Yeah.
the child, because when your child is confident...
So you're actually providing the child and the
Yes.
parent an holistic approach, right?
Absolutely.
Uh-huh.
So if your child is confident in the maths, then that transpires to the other subjects.
Yes, it does.
So children sometimes they come to me. It's not because they don't know. It's just that lack of confidence.
That lack of
so once the
confidence,
confidence grows, then of course they fly.
They fly.
So and then there's that category of those who need special help and support. Please, by all means, do not leave them. Do not deny them the access to a fantastic tutor. If you want to get in touch with me, by all means, please do, sholalabi.com. But yes, some children need that support all the way through. And then some need it for a short while, they can fly. Some would not need it at all.
At all, okay. And also, there's also the importance of also nurturing that extracurricular activities that children are interested in, right?
Yes, yeah. Extracurriculars are key. At my parent clinic last Saturday, we'd actually looked at the benefits of having extracurriculars, because your child cannot just be all academic
No, it can't.
and not have something else to cool off. I sometimes call it the opportunity for them to cool off. It could be music. Music, I have actually done quite a lot of research on that, helps their thinking skills as well.
does.
There's a correlation between music and maths, I hear. And sports as well.
Yeah.
Our children need to be physically active.
absolutely.
Especially with the amount of food. I mean, I know my 14-year-old at this point in time, but because he's physically active,
Yeah.
it also helps the blood to flow around.
Oh, absolutely.
The
and
brain.
to make them even more alert.
Absolutely. So extracurriculars in any form, fashion or shape, please encourage them. And you never can tell. That could be where their passion lies.
Yes.
And hey, look at the likes of those footballers and those basketball players, So yeah, extracurriculars is important. Sports, music, drama, creative, whatever. Let's get our children into
1
that.
minute, final word to our viewers.
Okay. I just would like to say, as parents, we're doing quite a lot. I encourage you. I say well done for doing that, but please, let's take the education of our children very serious. And do you know what? Reach out. Don't suffer in silence. There's always help available for you.
You heard it from here, and from the one and only Shola Alabi, who is so passionate about children, passionate about education, and passionate about parents building that relationship with their child, so they can actually support the child.
Absolutely.
It's just like in a marriage. If you don't understand your partner, the marriage is not going to work. So the same thing applies with parents and children as well. Take the time to understand your child and get the help. There is help out there.
Yeah.
We will be putting all the links up later on for you to actually go and try and attend all these events that are coming up for your child. And another thing that I want to, so I don't forget, the book is here. Okay, parents, understand your child. Now, I've got 2 books to give away, courtesy of Shola Alabi. 2 books to give away. So why don't you email me? My email is right at the bottom. Send me an email with your address and details and everything, and I will put this in the post for you. If it's not something that you want, then why not get it for somebody who you feel is going to benefit from it, okay? Because I know there's always somebody out there who will love to read this book, and I'm telling you, this book is full of a lot of wisdom and guidance that would really help you. Now, I'm looking for guests to come on my show. Do you have an interesting story to share? Are you a designer? Are you into sports? Are you into catering, or are you a chef? Are you into mentoring or coaching? Whatever business that you're in, why not get in touch? Because you know what, on this show, we are here about giving our viewers some freebies. But the most important thing is actually sharing the story, the challenges. Like Shola's just shared a story. How her life turned around from when she was in her first year of secondary. Her life turned around. And from then, she had to start building that passion. She knew she needed to do something more. And the passion lied with what? Helping children.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay?
And their parents.
And their parents. And that's where her passion is. So what is your passion? Okay? What business do you have? What products do you have to share? What story do you have that you know our viewers are going to benefit from? Why don't you get in touch with me? Mike, I'm always here waiting for you. You can call me, you can email me, and then we'll get talking. But most importantly, why don't you DM me, and then I'll send out, I've got 4 books, 2 from Shola and 2 from my guest from last week. And next week, I am so excited. Oh, you know, I'm always excited about all my guests that come on my show. Why? Because, you know, the things that they have done and the challenges that they have faced. And they're still going forward. They're going strong. They're impacting the world. They're making a change. So why next week, I have a lady who is coming to talk about catering, food. She's talking about food. And not only ordinary food, but African cuisine, okay? She is actually in one of 5 of the top restaurants in the UK. She's at the Hilton, she's at the Marriott, she's at Radisson, she's at Intercon and Sheraton. So if you're into catering and you'd like to know more, why don't you tune in next week and let my guests educate you and give you some of the tips and know-how so that you do not fall prey to some of the challenges that some of the chefs actually face. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. And I wish you all the best. Rise above every challenges. Rise above every challenges and turn your ear to all the naysayers, okay? Surround yourself with like-minded people. And I trust me, you will fly. It's just the beginning of the year.
Absolutely, yeah.
The beginning of the year. So you are going to fly and excel above even your wildest dreams.
Yeah.
Because dreams do come true.
Absolutely.
Dreams do come
True.
They do.
Absolutely.
Absolutely do come true. But you've got to work with the right people. You've got to have the right people working with you. People who have potential. People who can see the potential in you.
Yeah.
And have your interest at heart. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye. You see how 27